It's the show that's moving fast. It's called the Captain and the Real Deal podcast with our brother Top Gun, our flight engineer. We're talking Vikings and Hawks, man, the tip of the spear, because we float past clowns with the greatest of ease. They just buckle down to their knees with the grip of a pit bull locked on the mic. We'll be tearing it up night after night. I'm Captain Luke, an operator. I could never be a faker, and I'm serving you lyrics better than a damn waiter. Rhyming on this microphone, and I just never am alone with Big Gold and Top Gun. You know we full grown. Can you hear my tone? I'm in the podcast zone, giving you a taste of my microphone. The homie by my side, he will make you glide. So Big Gold, slice and dice and bring this party inside. Cut it up, B Gold. We get the call with the ball and we're ready to maul. There's no competition, we will never fall. Ball could be in the air or for that 9 route. I shake and bake at the line of scrimmage and I'm out. And off to the house with 6 more for the squad, generating the speed of a NASCAR hot rod. On arrival, the 12s go mad. The opposition got the Emerald Nation is glad. So brace yourself for the show that's the most. While B Gold is spinning, I'm one of your hosts. We also got the Real Deal who makes his cameo with unfiltered thoughts that'll jam you, bro. And our technician, aka Top Gun, he'll test his skills for fun, and he's never on the run. I'm Captain Fook, unfadable, just like the Real Deal. The bigger the headache, the bigger the pill. That's a shout out to the homie George Clinton, the masters of the funk, yo. That's my opinion. So in 2022, and it's season 2, Captain Fook and the Real Deal are ready for you. If you're ready for us, there's no time to discuss. It's about that action, y'all. So get your butt on the bus, because the Captain and the Real Deal are ready to go. And if you are too, then let's start the show, because it's the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. What's it called? It's called the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. All right, then let's start the show.
Soldiers, 12s, and all you football fanatics. Welcome to another episode of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. On today's episode, them guys will bring you all the latest news and information for their respective teams, the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Damen und Herren, it's time for the podcast featuring Captain Fook and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. This is the only place that's talking Hawks and Kings, but to be specific, we're talking Seattle Seahawks and Minnesota Vikings. So strap up. We're taking you on a fantastic voyage, unlike any you've ever been on, so sit back and get ready to set sail to the emerald-rich lands of the Seattle Seahawks and the treasure-filled valleys of the Minnesota Vikings, with your hosts, Captain Fook and Billy Gold, aka The Real Deal. Let's get it.
Soldiers, welcome to episode 20 of the Captain and the Real Deal podcast. We did have a bye week in there after our teams, went
through what they went through.
left the playoff picture. So we did have something we had to take care of, but it actually gave us another week to heal up and be prepped for this podcast. I'm Billy Gold, along with my partner, Captain Book, and the Maverick, Top Gun, our production engineer. As always, another great episode in store for you today, so I suggest you fill up your solo cup, sit back, and get ready for another fantastic voyage. Hey, Cap, are you ready to roll?
Be Gold. You know I'm always ready to go, man. Are you kidding me? Listen, man, my Seahawks got a ticket to the big dance, and they were soon escorted out by the bouncers. And we'll explain how that happened. But it was nice to be there, but we didn't get to stay too long. But it's all good. What you got, brother? You ready to get this in?
Yeah, I am. But the good thing about you, you were escorted out of town. We were escorted out in our home city.
There is a difference. That's true. There is a difference.
All right, let's start off with the recaps. We're going to change how we do our recaps this week a little bit, so they won't be the play-by-play kind of thing, but just kind of some key points in the game and where we see, how we could have did better or, where some people made some mistakes. So let's get to the Vikings. The Giants come into U.S. Bank Stadium. The first half. Pretty good battle. We just go down the field and score a touchdown. Giants respond and take a 14-7 lead. We're on a drive. We're moving the ball. We had just got back tight end Irv Smith, who missed 6 to 8 weeks after an injury. Came back for the final week of the season. Looked pretty good. This guy's got a lot of potential, but he's never lived up to it yet.
You don't let him slide, but he's got to come through, though.
Right, and he dropped a pass on 3rd and 5 that was a sure first down, and right around midfield would have continued the drive, and it was a big play in the game. All right, later in the first half, our coach, first-year head coach, I keep telling him, if you're 3rd and 1, stop trying the cute little trick plays. Well, he dialed up another one. Jet sweep to JJ, who threw it back to Cousins. Now, there might have been a little mistake on JJ's and Cousins' part on this because JJ threw it forward. Now, if he had meant to throw it backwards, Cousins would have had a chance to throw it downfield.
Right.
The reason I believe it was a mistake is because Cousins, they don't throw him the ball to run. But he had no choice to run on this one, and they didn't make the 3rd and 1. So 2 key drives that got stopped. One because of a cute play call, thanks O'Connell, and one because Irv Smith, who probably will not be with the team next year, dropped a pass, and he's dropped passes throughout his short Viking career. Let's move to the second half. And I'm going to the final play of the game because we had all year come back. We're down by 7. We get the ball to 15. We move close to midfield. It's 4th down. And the Vikings got to get 8 yards. Again, as it has been through this guy's career, everyone is quick to blame Cousins for throwing a check down pass to TJ Hawkinson. Now, I do call him Captain Kurt Checkdown. But if you dissect the play, the wrong call was made by the OC head coach O'Connell, who, by the way, I'm not killing him. It's his first year. We're 13-4. We had a great season.
Sure did.
So, on the play, Jefferson, Thielen, and KJ Osborne ran routes that were more than 15 yards. We only needed 8. In fact, Jefferson and Thielen were 30 yards down the field. The Giants had a strong push up the middle, and Cousins was about to be sacked. In hindsight, Cousins should have dumped it off to Dalvin Cook to the left, who would have had to go about 15 yards because they were back in the pocket. And he would have had to beat one man who was spying him, which is not impossible. He chose Cousins to throw to T.J. Hawkinson on a crossing route. Hawkinson was only 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Cousins' throw was high.
He's a big guy. That's hard to get higher than him.
It was high, and Hawkinson had to leap to get it, which left him off balance, and the Giants' defender made the tackle. Had he hit Hawkinson in stride, I would have saw a stiff arm, and he probably would have got the necessary yards for the first down. So, first of all, you're down to 2 guys. A guy on his left, Cook, who he didn't see because the pass rush was coming that way, and he was looking to the right.
Yep.
He didn't have a lot of time. So the people that are killing him for this call, I brought Top Gun into my office, and I made him watch the play with me. I broke it down for him.
Nice.
And he goes, he didn't really have much of an opportunity. He went to the only guy he had.
Right.
The push up the middle through our center, who was back after being injured, Bradbury.
Did he have his roller skates on?
Yes, he did. He did. By the way, the defensive tackle for the Giants, he's a beast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He's a beast.
Yeah, we saw him.
Great player. So, we lost by a touchdown. We've come back and tied the games in these instances before. We did not do it this time. The Giants, I'm not saying they were the better team this week, but I think coaching was the key component and some failed tries. There was no turnovers in the game. No turnovers.
That's good.
We don't win games when we don't get turnovers.
Yeah. We had
Based on the shell defense that we play. So just some final thoughts. The Vikings are the only team in the Super Bowl era to complete 80% of their passes, not turn the ball over, not allow a sack, and still lose.
That's not good.
Previously, teams in that situation were 47-0 in the regular seasons and playoffs combined.
Are you serious?
That's a stat right there.
That's rough.
So we didn't get blown out. We played it. It was a close game. We were never out of it. We had a chance, as always, at the end. But you know what? It was time to turn into the pumpkin.
Hey, we already talked about it at the beginning of the season. 32 fan bases. 31 will be disappointed at some point.
Exactly. All right, let's get over to you, Cap, and tell us how the Seahawks fared.
Well, it was a rough day for us in the old California domain. We've been there before. Already lost twice to these guys in 2022. Even had a pregame speech by Commander Vuk, who showed up and tried to show some love, get the guys rolling. Didn't work out like we hoped, but here's how the fight went. So they win the toss. They defer, of course. Kick it to us. We don't do anything. Niners get the ball on their first drive. They end up going down. We hold them to a field goal. I'm feeling pretty good. It's a high-powered offense. Everybody's playing. Debo's out there. Ayuk, McCaffrey, Purdy. They're looking good. So we get the ball. They get the ball back because we don't do anything with it the second time, and they end up getting a touchdown pass to McCaffrey. I'm a little bit nervous at this point. It's 10-0. The first quarter is done. We're down on the road, playoff game. Ride or go home. So we get back out. Next drive, Gino is awake. The lantern has a little charge in it, the Emerald Lantern, and he takes us down for a nice drive that ends up with a touchdown to Kenneth Walker, who has a nice 7-yard run off the left end. Really good run by him. He's really good, I noticed, at slapping traffic and junk hands away from him as he's running. It's a good skill. I hope he keeps it. So the Niners get the ball back, and what do? They answer with a field goal, but we're still in it. So it's 13-7. I'm okay. We get the ball back before the half ends. DK Metcalf, who had a monster game, which I'll touch on, receives a beautiful 50-yard dime from Geno Smith off the left sideline, and he's got the guy burnt. So he takes off. He's in the end zone. We end up going into halftime 14-13 against these guys. A lot of people are shocked. I'm sorry. It's 14-13, and then they make a critical error. It's a late hit penalty. We get the ball. We get it in the field goal range, and your guy, Jason Myers, comes in and kicks the field goal. So it's 17-16 at half. And I'm like, okay, we fought hard the whole first half. No major injuries, playing pretty disciplined, and the defense was making some tackles because that's the thing that I was most concerned about. So come back out after halftime, B Gold, and some of the same problems that visited us during the year surfaced. Primarily tackling. We got away from it for a few weeks during the season. It resurfaced its ugly head, and then at the worst time in a playoff game, it resurfaces, and then once that starts happening, the 49ers are too good. They will dissect you, and they ended up dissecting us. They scored 3 touchdowns in a row. Right after halftime, they got a TD. They scored 2 more touchdowns in the fourth quarter, a field goal in the fourth quarter. We ended up with, I don't want to say a garbage touchdown, because no touchdown is really garbage, but the final score was 23-41. It was a lot closer than it seemed if you watched the game. If you look at the score, it looks like we got blown out, which really didn't happen.
Well, the first half.
Yeah, a couple of key things to take away. You talked about this earlier with your crew. You guys didn't turn the ball over. We had 1 fumble. We lost it. We had 1 pick. We lost it. So we lost 2 turnovers to a team that you can't give anything to in addition to what you're trying to get done. So that was a problem. We also gave up 181 yards on the ground. We earned 104, but we gave up almost 200 yards on the ground again. And we already know that sets up everything. So we're kind of working our way downhill. Time of possession was pretty even. Total plays was pretty even. We had 63. They had 64, but they did get 505 yards on offense. It's hard to win like that, B Gold.
That's a lot of yards.
And some of the same problems, when I know we'll break down our defenses later, showed up.
So tell me about the perceived San Francisco treat motivation on Samuel, the article that they said this is it after the defensive back intentionally, supposedly, twisted his leg to try to hurt his ankle.
Yeah, you're talking about Abrams, and I didn't like that. It looked intentional to me to the point where they should have thrown him out of the game. I don't know.
A lot of smack talk about that this week. And they said the 49ers went back and said, I think they're using that as the key turning point in the game.
I wouldn't blame them. If I saw somebody do that to my teammate, it was blatant. And that's how you can damage somebody's career. And why are you doing that? That's not what we do with the Hawks. So he's new to our organization. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay regardless of his talent, because Pete Carroll doesn't play that stuff. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So
because there'll be retaliation. He'll do it to one of your guys. So you can't have players on your team.
Well, you can't be trusted. That's nothing. Nobody teaches you to do that at all. And as one friend I know who I work with would say, that was Bush League. So I don't like that. And I had a bad taste in my mouth. I know we spoke about it as well. We did. Just some quick stats, because I know people probably want to blame Geno for the loss regardless, just because of his past history. So I just want to go through some of his stats. He was 25 for 35, 253 yards. He had 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, for sure. His counterpart, Mr. Purdy, I like this young guy. He was 18 for 30, 332 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
He's going to be out of the league next year.
Our rookie, Tyreek Woolen, kind of got lit up a little bit in this game. And
he did.
It was a good wake-up call for him. Kenneth Walker had a decent game, 15 carries for 63 yards and 1 touchdown. I don't know of anybody that got more yards on the ground this whole season as one person against that defense. So good for him. And McCaffrey, this guy's so legit. He had 15 carries, 119 yards. I want to give you Deebo Samuels and DK Metcalf, and then I'm chilling with the stats. Let's start with Deebo Samuel because they won. 6 receptions, 133 yards and a touchdown. DK Metcalf had 10 snags, 136 yards. He was unstoppable, and 2 touchdowns.
And they should have thrown to him 30 times.
They should have had more people show up to support him. So it's just one of those deals where, hey, if you don't get it done, you're out. And we didn't get it done, and we're out.
We're both
So
out.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah. So let me throw something out there.
Throw it.
Geno.
Let's go.
10 years obscurity.
He was banished to the Netherlands.
Had a great year this year. Comeback player of the year. Should hands down get that. Was it lightning in a bottle? And are you prepared to pay him big money? Because you're going to have to pay him big money to stay. And he's not going to take 2 years.
Well, we'll see about that part of it. But was it lightning in a bottle? I'll say no. I say that was the result of very, very hard and disciplined work on his part. Because if you're garbage in the NFL, you can't compete that long. You can't compete for a game or two.
Well,
before they figure you out.
For 10 years, he didn't play.
That's right. But he
So
was
that's
still,
not competing.
No.
You're not playing.
You can compete without having the spotlight on you, brother.
Where are you competing?
You are competing against yourself.
No pads?
Number one, he wears pads at practice.
No, he doesn't.
He's still in the
Quarterbacks
weight
don't wear
room.
pads.
He's still studying film. He's
God,
still
they got
learning from
they're
the
wearing
greats,
red shirts and
like
red
Phillip
hats and
Rivers,
red pants.
Peyton
can't touch
Manning.
'em.
He's learning from the greats still. And he decided to.
Was
not,
it
he
lightning in a
decided
bottle? Just get to the
I
question.
said
You
no.
didn't. No, all right.
No, that's the
So,
result of hard work. You can't do that without hard work.
6 years, 180 million.
Now you're going at it.
You pay him 6 years, 180 million.
Negative. I've been consistent.
You gonna
Here's
ride
what-
Gino for 6 years? He's young enough. 6
I
years,
never
180
mentioned
million.
that number. I
6
never
years,
mentioned that
no,
number.
I'm saying I'm asking. 6 years,
No.
180 million.
No.
5
Not
years,
at all.
150 million.
No.
4 years, 120 million.
2 years with whatever the numbers are that make sense, and maybe a third year option
Option for who? Him or you?
for him.
For him, he gets
Yeah.
to choose if he wants to stay the third year.
It depends.
All right, you're
I
talking
think that's
30
a fair
plus.
contract because he's got a long time in the league. We know that.
Yep,
And he knows our system better than anybody that's ever ran it.
better than Russell Wilson.
Everybody, every single
Really?
quarterback. Jim Zorn, Dave Craig, Matt Hasselbeck.
He knows it
and-
better than all those guys.
He's run this
after
offense
1
better.
year.
His efficiency's been better than any of them.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Wow.
I think that's a testament to hard work. What
Can't
you
believe
think?
that came out of your grill.
I'm just speaking it like it is. That's all. I ain't saying the other guys are bad. I love all them other QBs.
Yeah, no.
You know, but it is what it
Gino's
is.
the greatest quarterback in Seahawks history, I just heard.
As far as efficiency, yeah, he's been the most efficient.
So is he the greatest Seahawks quarterback in history? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's not It's not written yet.
I'm asking you that.
The book is still being written,
Well,
brother.
based
It's not
on this
over.
year.
Let's talk about it when he retires.
When it could be next year.
You never know. It could be.
All right. So Gino, comeback player of the year.
And maybe he'll come back.
No, there's 6 or 7
Since he's a comeback player of
6
the
or
year.
7 teams that need a quarterback this year.
And so are we. We're one of them.
Right, but you have to overpay.
Are you sure we have to overpay, though?
Absolutely.
We'll see. I don't
It's
know what the
about
numbers
the
look
money.
like. And we
When you've been
we
here
don't
for
have
10
a
years,
ton of cash.
Right. You just got to cut some guys that you don't need. That aren't
That
playing,
may
that aren't
happen
playing
too, or
right.
do some restructuring.
Right, exactly. Restructure
know?
and cut. Hey, we're 24 million over the cap. We got some. I'm gonna lay out the guys. We're dicing and slicing. They're out.
Yeah, but I mean, I really like the question about this lightning in a bottle with this guy because even Johnny Manziel never got any lightning going. He had some talent at the collegiate level, but if you don't put that work in at the professional level, you will get exposed. It's just a matter of time. If Gino was going to get exposed in our system, it would have happened in week 4.
We'll see.
We will. I know there's a lot of non-believers, but I'm used to dealing with it.
I'm on the fence. I'm not a non-believer.
And you know what?
I'm
That's
not a
fair.
believer.
It's a fair
I'm on
position
the
to be
fence.
in.
I'm like
a lot of people are, and that's fair.
how, because I think he made like $4 million this year. If
He
you're-
was making it, and look how hard he worked.
I'm saying that's okay, but now you're going to pay him $30 million.
I don't know what he's going to pay, but pay the guy
I'm
what he's
telling
worth.
you, that's what
Pay him what he's
quarterbacks
worth.
get. So if you're paying him $30 million, now you have to start cutting other positions.
How much money did these rookies that just came out of the NFL draft get? And did any of them play better than Gino?
You get like $4 to $5 million a year.
Did any of them play better than Gino? None of them.
I'm not
did.
saying they did. What I'm
So
saying
I'm
is
saying-
now you have a decision to make. You're gonna put $26 more million on your cap.
I don't
And
know what the
Kenneth
numbers
Walker,
are.
Kenneth Walker wants money. I'm telling you,
I know.
the average starting quarterback.
Kenneth ain't up for his contract. He's a rookie.
I'm just saying the average. Well, he's going to say I'm holding out. I need some more money. I'm a top 10 running back. You ain't paying me like it.
He's got to, we got to figure it out. That's part of the
all
deal
right.
of having talented people on the
Yeah,
roster.
but then you suffer elsewhere. I don't
I
know.
love it. I love it, bro. Oh my gosh. I mean, you know numbers better than I do. So
I do.
the 26 or the 30 mil number.
It's 30. It's at least 30 now. Cousins gets 38.
If he's
Matter of fact,
what's the franchise tag number?
Dak Prescott gets 54 next year. 54.
I don't think he's gonna be there.
50.
Then.
But they can't get rid of him.
Oh, wow.
They're only going to get like $6 million cap relief if they
brutal.
cut him.
That's brutal.
It's guaranteed.
Now, what's Kirk's contract situation? Is he?
He's got a year left at 38.
Because let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to bring that up later, or you want to talk about it now?
No, we could talk about it now.
Is he worth bringing back? Or are you going to start preparing for a new QB now?
He's 35 years old coming into next year.
Is that a bad number?
Historically, yes,
I
it
don't
is.
think it's a bad number. For
Historically, yes, it is.
For quarterbacks?
Only two quarterbacks even made the Super Bowl past 35. Manning and Brady. That's it.
And how they look, they both look really good, except for the time he played against our defense.
Those are like
nobody looks good against that defense.
Those are like Marvel characters. Those guys.
Except when they
wait. Did you like that Top Gun? I did. Yeah, right. There you go.
Not as good as DC. But no, we like both.
DC Marvel. All I'm saying is it doesn't happen a lot. Yeah. Now Cousins, I will tell you this. He's like Elastic Man.
Does he get an extension?
He's like Rope Man. He can fall over. He doesn't get hurt.
Don't say rope. Well, as long as he's not like Cuckoo Man.
He's not Cuckoo Man. All I'm saying is he's like Elastic Man. Cousins, he knows how to. He does. Knock on wood.
He doesn't take a lot of big hits either.
Are you kidding me? He was the most hit quarterback this season in the NFL.
Does he take big ones?
He gets smacked.
Oh,
Top Gun, you're watching.
We got to fix that.
He got creamed.
How can we fix that?
Get two guards in the center.
And take the roller skates away from the
Yeah, 2 guards in the center. Now, we did have a rookie guard.
Gosh.
We'll talk about the offense next week. All I'm saying is he's $38 million. They're already talking about extending him maybe one more year. If that's the case, we get some relief this year. But we're going to have like a $40 million cap hit on his last year.
Will he accept a 1-year extension, though?
He did last year.
Really? Was he betting on himself to leave or what?
No. He knows that at this point, he loves Minnesota.
Yep.
But he doesn't want to be committed to a 1-year. I'm one and done. So we're gonna have to extend him one more year. I'm okay with that. We can win with him.
And you have. Look at your record.
Right. Is he a top 5 quarterback? No. Is he 6 to 10? Absolutely. There's no question about it.
All right, cool.
No question about it.
Got some good QB talk in on both sides of the fence.
Exactly. All right. Let's move on to some open items, or an open item before we get to our segment by the numbers. I had an open item from one of the segment by the numbers, Mr. Quarterback Bob Lee, when he asked, what was he doing today? It's pretty short. He's now 76. He's retired after a career in real estate after football. And that's it, dude.
He's being productive.
He's still with us, so
I ain't mad at him.
That's a good thing. All right, let's get to by the numbers.
That is a good thing.
Number 20 by the Vikings. Their first ever draft pick was QB Tommy Mason. Played with the Vikings from 61 to 66. Right there, starting the franchise, hanging around for that long. He's in there. Second up, we got Bobby Bryant, cornerback, playing in all 4 Super Bowls, I believe, nice. 67 to 80. Bobby Bryant, one of those 12 Vikings. Remember when we did that and we went through every Viking and I kept saying I was done and we kept finding somebody else? Yeah. So Bobby Bryant hangs in there. Darren Nelson, a good running back for the Vikings. Robert Smith, not the Robert Smith you think about, but a different Robert Smith.
Because that is the one I think about, the light-skinned guy with the that
played running back.
Yeah.
This only says 1993. You know what? Maybe he changed his number after that. Maybe he only wore number 20 for that first year, and after that he changed it. I'll have to look that up.
How long does it say he wore the number there?
Just 1993.
Yeah, I bet you he couldn't get it because he wasn't a veteran, and then he maybe
open
the next
item,
year.
and then he changed it. So I got to look up that. All right, Dwayne Washington, 3 years. Kenny Wright, 2 years. Mo Williams had a good career with the Vikings. Greg Blue, I don't know who the hell Blue is. Madu Williams, I knew him. He came from the Chiefs. We had him for a little while. Chris Cook, defensive back. Mackenzie Alexander, back and forth with us. Slot cornerback. Jeff Gladney, former number 1 pick in 2020. Got in some trouble, domestic trouble. He's I don't think he's out of the league, but he's not with us anymore. Harrison Hand, late round pick, back and forth with us from 2021 to 2022. Cut him again. And then Duke Shelley, who we got off the Bears after the Bears cut him, and he ended up being our starting cornerback this year, and he played well. So I hope we sign him back and keep him in the fold. So I can't give it to him because he, 1 year, and he did play well. I got to go with the dude who played in all 4 Super Bowls. Cornerback Bobby Bryant is my choice for the Viking number 20.
I like it.
What say you for Seahawks and the number 20?
Number 20. So we had quite a few people run this number down, and a lot of names you may recognize. Number 1, got Jay Bellamy. He was good. He played with us for 6 years. We had Arnold Brown, never heard of him, from 87 to 87. So it tells you a little bit about that. Justin Forsett, remember him well, good running back. James Jefferson, Jeremy Lane, who was a nickel corner.
Wait, another JJ. Was he a wide receiver?
I don't know what position this guy played.
You're going to have to look. Open item. Open item. You got to look him up.
I'll hit that one up. Right. Jeremy Lane, I'll talk about him later. One of my favorites. Derek Lavelle was a running back. He didn't play with us very long. Maurice Morris was also a lot of fun. Did some kick returning and running backs. 2002 to 2008. Mike O'Brien, sounds like an O-lineman, but I have no idea who that is. Rashad Penny, you might recognize that name. Started with us in 2018.
Like a backup running back or something.
Charlie Rogers, remember that name?
No.
I think he was the
Aaron
Heisman
Rodgers.
Trophy winner, but I think he might have came to us at the end of his career. And then Terry Taylor, who played with us for 4 years. So out of this particular list, because this is my list, right?
Yeah, it's your list, so it's going to be the backup running back.
No, I gotta go with Jeremy Lane. He was a nickel corner. He was really good. He was with the Legion of Boom. He got a Super Bowl, and in the game in the Super Bowl against the Pats, he got a pick, and then I think he broke a bone in his leg and was out for the rest of the game. But he's a difference maker. He really was. That guy was an impact player. And when he went out of that game, that might have helped us,
So Penny's not a difference maker? Is that what you're telling me?
He is, but Penny's been hurt a lot.
He
hasn't finished one whole season yet, unfortunately. And I do hope he heals up well.
Because I remember the name Lane. There was a guy in the league
Lane.
There was a guy in the league called Big Train Lane.
Oh, Night Train Lane.
Night Train Lane.
Dick and Night Train Lane. Yeah. Woo,
Is it relative?
I have no idea. That guy was way back.
That's what I'm
But I
saying.
have no
You might
idea.
want to look at the two open items. You got two. You got
That
two.
man is assigning me homework, Top Gun. Hold up.
You got two.
Hold on,
Is he
James
related to
Jefferson.
right. JJ is a wide receiver.
And then who is Night Train?
Who's
Who's James Jefferson's dad?
No, his Lane,
where's
his
he at?
Lane retired to Night
Jeremy.
Train.
Who's Jeremy's family?
Yeah, we got to know that, right?
That's funny.
Come on now. Remember the stuff I found out when we did it the other week?
Yes. All right.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the 21.
That segment is way more fun than I thought it would be, man.
Because now we're diving into these guys. When you while you queue up 21, I will take care of the Vikings that were in 21. 62 to 63, Chuck Lamson, I don't know. Tom Michael, 64, don't know. Jim Lindsay actually played with us for quite some time, 66 to 72. He's going to take the lead right here. No, I don't know what position he played, but he was with us.
But he's taking the lead.
But it was for 6 years. He's got to have something. Jim Blayhawk, 74. Nope. Rufus Best, out. Actually, he played for us 5 years too, but I just like Jim Lindsay's name better, so he's going to win so far. Terry Allen, running back, 4 years for us. Charles Mincy, 1995. And then on the list, again, after he also wore number 20, he also wore number 21, Mo Williams. Now, he wore 21 first, and then he switched to 20. Henry Jones.
Cup of coffee?
Cup of coffee. Dale Carter. Cup of coffee. Corey Chavis. Picked him up as a cornerback. I think he was. He might have been a Chief, too. Fred Smoot came from the Redskins. Played with us for 1 year. Mike Doss. Don't know. Marcus McCauley. Don't know. Asher Allen. One thing I know about the name Asher is Jackie, who works for me, is her son's name is Asher, isn't right? Is that right? All right, so I threw that out there. Josh Robinson, 2012 to 2015, nothing. Jarek McKinnon.
Nothing.
Jarek McKinnon is starring for the Chiefs right now. He never got on track as a Viking, but he's there. Mike Hughes was the number one pick as a cornerback. Never did nothing for us. Brashad Breeland.
Your favorite?
Yeah.
Not favorite guy.
Yeah. Punk, out. And Brian Mills, 2021. After they got rid of Breeland, they give Mills his number just to put anybody in that uniform but Breeland. I'm looking at this. There's really nobody here. You know what? I don't even know who this dude is, but I'm giving it to Jim Lights Out Lindsay.
Is that nickname on the fly?
Yeah,
He's probably like, yeah, I appreciate that,
Jim
B-Gold.
Lights Out Lindsay. And
That's pretty sweet.
You need to take care of Seahawk business with 21 right
I
now.
love it, man. So check it out. We had quite a few names on this list too. Number 1, Artie Burns. He's with us right now. He's trying to figure it out. TJ Cunningham, Andre Dyson, DeAndre Elliott, Trey Flowers, Seattle Socrates' unfavorite Seahawk.
Who's that?
Trey Flowers. He should be with the Bengals this year. We talked about him quite a bit before he got traded. Randy Fuller, Kelly Jennings, Ken Lucas, who was a good defensive player, J.D. McKissick, you know that name, Vic Miner, Paul Moyer, Adrian Peterson. 2021 to 2022, he wore the Seahawk blue and green.
Did he really?
He did. Raphael Robinson, Reggie Rusk, Ty Smith, Cordell Taylor, Brian Treggs, and Chris White. I look at this list, I examine it, and to me, it's a no-brainer. Paul Moyer absolutely gets the nod. No question about it.
Nice. All right, I got some update on
Let's
Mr.
get it.
Jim Lindsay.
Go for it.
Lindsay was a running back for the Vikings, most often used for punting and kickoff returns. So he was a special teamer for 6 years.
Special operator.
But if you're in there for 6 years, it means you're doing your job.
Love it.
So we're taking him. Come on, we had some fun with that.
Oh, that was good. Good stuff.
All right. This segues us into the fun facts for the week. Now, both our franchises were escorted out of the building.
By the bouncer, like a high school dance that you're at the wrong high school.
And, back in the day, I used to play the favorite songs to the bouncer, so I had some pull, but they wouldn't keep the Vikings in the building.
They wouldn't even let us.
They kept them until last call, but they wouldn't stay for the after hours party.
Yeah, it was rough.
All right, so no fun facts, but I do have a not so fun fact. So here it is, not so fun fact number 1.
I know you're gonna dig this.
I'm not going to dig it, but you guys might dig it. Dalvin Cook this year, last in yards per carry over expected, minus 1.2, meaning he got 1.2 less yards than he hasn't in his past.
Okay.
Tied for the league lead in fumbles lost.
That's unusual.
Led the league in runs for no gains or less. Third to last in total expected points added, whatever the heck that stat is. And 47th highest graded running back, according to PFF. 4th highest paid at the position. Time to move on.
Wow.
Cook, you're cooked.
Bro, you're welcome in Seattle, man. Come check us out.
Exactly. They need running backs.
Check him out. I have 2 fun facts when you're ready, believe it or not.
And he is going to be a salary cap casualty.
Oh, is he? What's his number? It's too big?
It's like $10 million.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Coming off a year, that's unusual for him to fumble, though. That's just throwing me off.
You know what? We're more of a pass-oriented team. We have a lot of horses in the stable, so we're gonna ride someone else.
I know
into
Madison
the
is sitting back licking his lips
Madison,
like,
he's
yo.
a free agent. But
Is he?
Yeah. But I think we have first right of refusal, and then we got Chandler and Kenny Nwangwu. Oh, special teams.
I like that
Special
guy.
teams ace for kick returns.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you know what? This is the first time you're actually gonna get. I know you're gonna dig this.
And I'm going to try to do it correctly this time. So, all right, so check this out. I have 2 fun facts, and I'm going to kick it off with fun fact number 1.
I know you're gonna dig this.
That was absolutely beautiful, Top Gun. I appreciate that. So check this out. Did you know that the Seattle Seahawks have the most offensive and defensive snaps played by rookies in the NFL this year?
Well, I knew the defense did because they were on the field a lot.
The Seahawks had 2,582 snaps for rookies.
You didn't even respond to that.
I heard you. I'm trying to move through this. The other top 4 teams behind us were Houston, Chicago, the Giants, and the Jets.
Give me those teams again.
Houston,
No playoffs.
Chicago,
No playoffs.
New York Giants, New York Jets.
No playoffs. Okay. 1 out of 4. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just yeah.
And did you hear on the announcers for our game what Pete Carroll said that Bud Grant told him about starting a rookie?
I did. He said it costs you 1 game per season.
For every game that a rookie plays, it costs you a game.
Yes,
So
I did
that's
hear
pretty
that.
funny.
I did hear that.
That's hardcore logic right there. But fortunately, it didn't come to fruition for us this year. And the second fun fact is...
Well, wait. No, pause.
What?
How many losses did you have this year?
We had 9 or 8
All right, how many rookies you have that started?
that started.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe you are. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. We got Boye Mafe.
Open item.
I'll
I
confirm.
want that for next podcast.
Yeah, I'll see.
Open item. We're gonna see.
We only had 7 rookies, so had to
7 rookies.
But we got some people that
But how many started?
that were unrestricted free agents too, though.
Yeah. So Bud might be onto something here.
Let's find out. That's good. How many starters and rookies?
Yeah. We know you had 2 offensive linemen that started.
We did.
We know
And
you
we
had a
running
cornerback
back.
that started and a running back. That's
we had
4.
a running back, and we had
4 right there.
Yep. And I don't know if the rookie Derek Young started. He may have started
all right.
on
You-
special teams. That counts.
Bud's not far off, dude.
No, and then on defense we had quite a few.
So you take those 8. What was your record?
We ended up losing to
So what were you 9-8 this year?
yeah.
you could, if you had six starting
and then
rookies.
9-9 after we
So
lost
if you
to
had
them.
6 starting rookies, you could have been 15-2 if you didn't start those guys.
So I got to see the magic number is 9.
According to the logic.
All right, let me check the magic number.
All right.
All right.
All right, let's move
Fun
on.
fact number 2.
I know you gonna dig this.
And this is from the Seattle Seahawks website. Running back Kenneth Walker III joined Seahawks legend Kurt Warner, number 28, as the only backs in team history to rush for 1,000 yards in their rookie season, leading NFL rookies with 1,050 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns.
Congratulations, K9!
Thank you, brother. I actually have a fun fact number 3.
I know you gonna dig this.
From the Seahawks website, cornerback Tyreek Woolen, who we've talked about a lot on this show, set a franchise record with 6 interceptions and became the Seahawks' first rookie defender to earn a Pro Bowl nod since the homie Lofa Tatupu in 2005. Lofa Tatupu played in a Super Bowl. He also played in the NFC Championship game. Prior to that, the game that I was at, where the first running play, he hit the guy so hard, I think the guy wanted to quit after the first hit. And it was so loud in that stadium. So the 12s are getting it in.
All right.
But anyway, 3 fun facts. I appreciate it. And I try not to blow the segment too bad.
No, hey, you know what? now that you actually are bringing something to the table here, you might want to do those moving forward.
I'm trying to think about doing that. Instead of just enjoying your work. I know. Let me jump in.
Actually, I have a fun fact now that we're thinking about this.
Let's go.
Fun fact number 1.
I know you gonna dig this.
You're talking about the Pro Bowl. Well, our long snapper, Andrew DiPiola, and our kick return specialist, Kenny Nwangu, were both selected to the Pro Bowl team.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Wait.
You mean the skills competition team?
No. There it is!
Good stuff.
All right. All right, let's move on. And I can't wait to do this one. Let's move on to the ridiculous article comment of the week. Here's the article / comment. The story was by Eric Truden. He said, sounds like Justin Jefferson wants to leave the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Because after the game and the Vikings being eliminated from the playoffs, reporters swarmed around Jefferson at the locker and began questioning him on the contract situation and whether or not he's going to pursue a long-term extension with the club. And Jefferson responded, I mean, I'll be wherever I'm wanted. If they want me here, I'm here. That's not something I can really control.
Standard answer.
Right. Truden wrote, that does not sound promising. This guy is a tool. He's a tool that doesn't belong in the toolbox. Mr. Truden has only been contributing to Fansided, a website, for 1 year and 3 months. He does this part-time, as he's an inside sales rep for a company called Core in Maine. Prior to that, he worked in their warehouse driving a tow truck. Tow motor, not a tow truck. He's driving something with a tow. This dude...
It's just another...
He's only graduated from high school 6.5 years ago. He's a youngin'. And guess where he lives? Guess where this dude lives?
Where does he live?
He lives in Wisconsin. Do you think he's a Packers fan?
I have no idea.
Pretty obvious. Truden. Dude. Do your homework. You're killing me.
That's a pretty big leap right there. And ladies and gentlemen, the real deal has just entered his 1974 Cadillac and is driving slowly away. Peace, real deal.
With the windows down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm slanting to the middle.
You already know. Hanging tight. Keep an eye on the rearview mirror.
All right. We have no taking it to the house this week because we were both eliminated.
We both got ousted.
So we're gonna bring in the backups. We're gonna do a substitute section here. It's called Year-End Grades, and it's gonna go over the course of our next 2 episodes. We're gonna do this week with the defense, and next week we'll do special teams. Next episode we'll do special teams and the offense. So let's get to the defense. All right. So
Let's do it.
we're going to start out with the Vikings played a 3-4 this year. So we're going to start out with the outside linebackers, Danielle Hunter and Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith was signed as a critical free agent this year. He started out really strong in weeks 1 through 10, had a knee injury and kind of faded as the year went on. He's going to be a good cap hit next year. He's struggled with injury before. I'm glad he came. I think he was a really good Viking. I just think it's time to just let him go. Daniel Hunter, obviously he's signed for another year, but I think we need to renegotiate and get him locked up. Let's move to the defensive line. Defensive ends, Dalvin Tomlinson and Ross Blaylock, and our nose tackle, Harrison Phillips. Harrison Phillips came over from the Bills. Great signing. Keep him, sign him. I think he's with us for the next 2 years anyway. Dalvin Tomlinson had a pretty good year according to the pundits. I saw some good stuff on film, but it's not like he's a game wrecker. He's a free agent. I'm open to, depending what the cap it is, to keeping him. Ross Blaylock, we got from the Texans. You're out.
See ya.
Let's move to the two linebackers, Jordan Hicks and Eric Kendricks. Jordan Hicks came from the Cardinals, second year with the Vikings. Age just caught up to this dude. He couldn't cover everybody over the middle. He's out. Eric Kendricks should possibly at one point probably join the Ring of Honor for the Vikings. But again, age just caught up to him. Still led the team in tackles, but he could not cover the guys on the pass plays anymore. Time to move on for him. Another big cap hit. We need to save some money. Cornerback Cameron Dansel Jr., still pretty young, in and out of the lineup with injuries. I think we keep him. We'll see where we go. Patrick Peterson, 1-year deal, free agent. Had his best year graded in probably 6 years. He wants to remain a Viking. If we can make it cap friendly, let's keep him. Safety Harrison Hitman Smith, coming to the end of his Viking career, I think. He got juked a couple times in this year that I would never seen him get juked before. I think age is catching up with him. Uh-oh. Big cap hit. I probably would end his career as well as a Viking. Be done. You're done.
Wow. Cameron
Bynum, who played the other safety, has some promise. Played well. He's going to be around. He's under contract. Getting to the second level. Pat Jones, defensive end, outside linebacker, good pass rusher, young guy. We're going to keep in. Jonathan Bullard, another free agent pickup, gone.
So final.
Kyrus Tonga, got him from the Bears, played nose tackle, played good. I'd sign this guy back up. James Lynch, another nose tackle defensive end, got hurt, but played well, another rotational player. Keep him. DJ Wanham, another outside linebacker, defensive end, pass rush specialist, has played good at times. Keep him. Brian Amosa, the second, young linebacker out of Oklahoma. He's the one that did the strip sack.
Did you say Brian Mimosa?
Asamoah.
Oh, Asamoah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did the strip sack in one of the games for a turnover. He's gonna start next year. Troy Dye, been in and out of the lineup. Get him out of here. Chris Boyd been hanging around. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Shannon Sullivan, he played the nickel, the inside coverage. Former Green Bay Packer, get him out of here. Josh Metellus, great special team player, also filled in greatly for Harrison Smith. He's going to step into Harrison Smith's shoes at safety. I think we're looking good there. And then Theo Jackson, cup of coffee, brought him up from the practice squad, played a little bit. He's out. Looking at the third level of the defense, and I'm not seeing any names that stick out. Oh, I do see one that sticks out. Duke Shelley, got him from the Bears, came in, started a bunch of games, played lights out. Duke Shelley's got to get a contract from the Vikings. I don't think he's going to be expensive. He's happy where he's at. So I keep Duke Shelley. These other people that I'm looking on here. Oh, there was another guy, Isoi Atanimo, a defensive end, another pass rushing guy. I think we keep him. He played good in spurts. He's still very young. The two guys I'm going to talk about to wrap this up is our number 1 pick and our number 2 pick last year. Number 1 pick, safety Lewis Sine out of Georgia, I believe, and cornerback Andrew Booth, or was Sine out of Sine? Who was the national champion last year? Was it LSU? One of them was out of LSU, one was out of Georgia. Anyway, Lewis Sine, safety, and cornerback Andrew Booth really didn't play a lot this year. Number 1 and number 2 picks. They're going to be like new draft picks for us year because they didn't play at all, but they got to see the system a little bit. Going to be We'll see how, if they stay healthy, they got a lot of potential. And finally, a guy who didn't play this year, and Cap, you mentioned him last year during the podcast, defensive end Kenny Willekes.
Oh, yeah.
At a Pitt. You had brought him up during the game, and you said, who is this dude?
Yeah, he was jumping off the film.
He was jumping off the film as a defensive end. He was out all year, but he'll be back next year, ready to go. So we have 3 guys right here who actually are going to be like draft picks because we only have 4 draft picks this year. So I think the defense, let's talk about one more thing about the defense. Thank goodness we got rid of Ed Donatel. You out of the building, dude.
He's gone.
Yeah, Ed, evacuate the building. Donatel, you gone. We're interviewing a couple guys right now. I'm really liking Brian Flores from the Steelers, former head coach of the Dolphins. That would be my number 1 pick. We're also looking at a Seahawk assistant coach, Cap. What's his name?
Sean Desai.
Sean Desai. He interviewed for the job last year before Donatel got it, so we're bringing him back in for a second look. And then we're also interviewing the Saints defensive coordinator. His name slips me right now. It'll be an open item for me. But that wraps up the defense and the year-end grades. I think we can't get any worse. Low-hanging fruit here. We can only get better. Kat, let's move on to you and your, evaluation of your Seattle Seahawks defense.
Well, real quick, what grade do you give your defense as a whole?
For this year?
Yep.
D-.
Okay. All right. And Georgia won the national championship last year.
So I think Lewis Cine came from there, and Andrew Booth might have came from LSU.
All right. So what I did, I'm going to break down some names that stood out that we have to definitely try to keep if we can for next year, some people that I'd like to see more from. And then I'm going to end with a grade. But I want to highlight some names. I want to highlight Shelby Harris. We got him in the trade with Denver. The guy played really, really well most of the time. And he was a force in the middle, which is where we needed it, even though he didn't seem like he had a lot of help behind him in the form of our linebackers a lot of the time. But he played his butt off, and so did Al Woods. So they need to come back, and we need more people that can play like them. I have to highlight Uchenna Nwosu, our fantastic pickup from the San Diego Chargers. I have no idea why this guy was not playing more and why they let him go, but they did, and we have him. Tariq Woolen, the rookie we spoke about a lot this year, fantastic season. He's just going to get better. And I really like Ryan Neal as well. I've made that known on the show, and I want to see him stay healthy if he can. He's a difference maker. I didn't highlight Quandre Diggs. Quandre did come on at the end of the season, but I don't know if it was hesitance or what, but I saw a lot of missed tackles from him and not really coming up and being the thumper that I had noticed that he was when he first came to us.
Yeah, he faded. He faded a little bit.
At the end of the season, he came back into his form, but I don't know what that's about. So as far as starters, Tanner Muse and Cody Barton. Cody Barton, I like him, but I think they should consider trying to move him to safety. I think he's just a little too light in the tail to stay inside with this particular defense and play linebacker. Unless they switch back to a 4-3, we run a 3-4 defense. I'm not sold on it right now. I really like the 4-3 style like the 49ers use, where you got Bosa and another jet end on the other side, and then the 2 tree trunks in the middle. But I don't know what's going to happen. They may switch back to the 4-3 this next training camp, or they may try to make this 3-4 work and get different personnel. I have no idea. A couple other names I want to mention. Boye Mafe, I mentioned him quite a bit, the rookie from Minnesota, defensive end. Really, really like what I see from this kid. He holds the edge. He's a force in the run, and he can put pressure on the quarterback, and he seems very smart. I like that. So hopefully that will continue. And then the last guy I want to mention who got hurt at the last part of the season, Jordan Brooks. He was having a phenomenal year. Hate to see him get hurt, but we need him back healthy. And then at the very beginning of the year, we lost Jamal Adams right out the gate, game 1. Season-ending injury. He could be a difference maker, but he's got to stay healthy. Now, Miles Adams, one of our defensive linemen, love this dude's effort. I think he should get more run. Every single time I see him playing, he's putting in work. Trey Brown, defensive back, I think he's got skills too, and maybe he came off the patella tendon or the patella injury. I'm hoping that this offseason will give him the confidence that he needs to come back and play full bore, which is the only way to play corner. And then I got to mention John Radigan, our defensive linebacker from West Point. I've mentioned that a few times. I'd like to see him get more opportunities if I could, but I don't know what's going to happen with the competition at linebacker and if they're going to go draft more. Last, Bruce Irvin, the OG. He should just be a situational if he comes back. They're putting a lot of tread on his tires, and he's already got a lot of tread on them. And his packages need to be real succinct and specific and targeted. So outside of that, I'll see what we do with the draft as a whole, because of the fact that we got into the playoffs with this defense and we've been able to hang on. But I was going to give them just a C.
You have a number 5 pick this year.
And I have the draft picks right here for us. And I will give our defense a C+.
C+.
But that's not acceptable. They need to be a B+ or A.
Agreed. Yeah,
so
defense wins championships.
They do, and it's being seen.
All right, so next week, next episode will be right before our Super Bowl edition. We'll be doing the offense and the special teams. So let's get to the picks, and before we get to that, let's go back to how we did on Wild Card Weekend. The Real Deal was 4-2. Cap was also 4-2. So Cap is still down 10 games. Yearly totals: Real Deal 158, 86-2. Cap 148, 96-2. So with 3 games to go, if you sweep, you lose by 7.
Those are great odds right there. I like that. As long as I got a chance to keep swinging, I'm going to do that. That's what
Let's get to the picks.
Yo, it's time for the picks, the weekly predictions by them guys. Get your notebooks out because they rarely miss. Make way for Captain Book when he makes his picks. You can't touch this dude. Reppin' Hawks in the Emerald Nation. All units, battle stations. So welcome to the battle zone. It's a place where Captain Book is never alone. With his guide, he goes by his side. Sporting purple, always ready to ride. A real Viking maniac. Never afraid to go on the attack. And when needed, in comes the real deal. He's got a real feel for NFL skills. So listen close and get the word. Don't be the one who hadn't heard about Captain Book and Blue Gold. Dropping knowledge, truth be told. Pico picks. Battle tested.
All right. It's time.
Let's go.
For the championship round. Playoff predictions. Found
all the marbles
right here on this podcast.
The Captain and the Real Deal podcast.
So, first up, we got the Philly cheesesteaks against the San Francisco Treats.
Top Gun's hometown.
At Philly.
In their building.
The
building with the jailhouse inside.
Yep. My only concern is how healthy is Jalen Hurts? Going to be a battle in the trenches.
This should be good.
In the trenches.
I'm fired up. Is that a Saturday or both on Sunday this year?
Both on Sunday. Yeah. It's going to be a battle.
Where you at, B Gold? And you got to let Top Gun get a piece of this. Top Gun has the pick.
Yeah, he's going to pick the Survivor Challenge. He can pick this as well, yes. I'm going to take the road team.
What?
I'm going to take because the 49ers defense is pretty legit, and if Jalen Hurts can't run around, I'm not sure they have enough weapons.
Isn't A.J. Brown on that squad?
He is. The 49ers have a lockdown corner, so I'm going to take the 40.
Which one? Because did he lock down DK last week? A couple weeks ago?
Yes. Who won the game?
Oh, they won the game.
They locked it down.
But DJ got in. So he put some work in.
He let him have some work. That's all.
You don't let nobody have nothing in the playoffs.
I'm going to take the 49ers 20.
Oh, you putting a score on it?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I am. Yeah, we're down to 2 games.
Right.
Get a little score.
I didn't do that.
I got the 49ers with 20, and I got Philly with 19. What say you, Cap?
Well, I've seen Frisco 3 times this year. I mean, that defense, oh my gosh. The kryptonite to that defense is this quarterback and his skills. My only concern is that this is his first playoff game, but he's at home. Now, that could work 2 ways. Pressure to where the expectations are so high he can't function, or...
You're talking about Hurts?
Yeah, or he thrives. He's
but
a baller.
But he's injured, too. You know what? If he wasn't banged up, I would have took Philly by 8 points.
Yeah, I have to go with Frisco, only because I've seen Purdy. He's got his one playoff game under his belt, and he's using his weapons without exposing himself and his weaknesses. So I got to go with San Fran. But Philly's D is no joke. It's going to be good. I'm going to say Frisco 27, Philly 21.
Yeah, they're.
But if it's reversed, I won't be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked either. But they're middles. They got 2 old guys in the middle, Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. They signed both of those guys late in the year. So, you know what? They've kind of been just coasting. Maybe they step up in this game. I would not be surprised to see Philly. That's why I got a 2019. For some reason.
Let me tell you this, and I've seen this 3 times. If Philly's tackles don't get with Mr. Bosa, he can destroy the whole freaking program, man.
And they got McCaffrey.
Oh, that's on offense. I'm talking about on defense.
I'm just talking
and Fred
players.
Warner. I have to mention Fred Warner.
Yeah.
But they got DeForest Buckner. He's an OG still, but he's still putting in work. So, it's going to be good.
It's going to be a good battle.
Yeah, it should be good.
I'm picking a game that and either team could win.
Well, hold up.
I'm not confident.
Top Gun is from Philly, so what say you?
He's a Viking fan.
Not in this game.
No, but he's a Viking fan.
That's between him and the Minnesota
No, but he's a Viking fan, so it's not like it's his home. It's not like it's who he's rooting for.
Let that man speak for himself.
I got the bird 72 to 3.
72 to 3. Philly in a romp.
Philly, if you win
That's
72,
hilarious.
if you win 72 to 3, I'll buy Mike a Philly jersey.
Okay.
72
How about if they get 17 to 3?
Then you could buy me a cheesesteak.
You got to tell me where to get it. He already told us before. All right, cool.
Let's move on to the second game.
Here we
Bengals at the Chiefs. The Bengals spanked the Bills in their home turf. Stephon Diggs was running around like the crybaby that he is.
They jumped on him early.
You
That
see
was
Diggs?
surprising.
See Diggs screaming at Allen, get me the
Yeah,
ball, get me the ball.
yeah.
I only got 4 catches for 40 yards.
I don't like that.
I didn't get mine. I didn't get enough.
I
You
don't
weren't
like
open.
that.
You weren't open.
Either it's all about the
You
team.
weren't
or it's
open
not.
as a Viking. You weren't open during this game either. That's why you didn't get the ball. Get open.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff right there at all.
By the way, there was a guy on the Bills squad that I'm gonna give you guys a little insight for next year fantasy football. I forget it started with an S. He made some real catches at the end of the game, like Sakir or something. This guy's gonna be a big player for the Bills next year at fantasy.
Uh-oh.
So
Good.
all the teams that think they can beat me and Cap and we try and get a championship, it ain't gonna happen anyway. But you might want to write this guy down.
Where's this game at?
This game's at KC. Mahomes has got a serious ankle injury. He kind of toughed it out during the game. They juiced him up and taped him up, and he was able to continue. But you know what? The Bengals were money. I'm taking the Bengals. Bengals are gonna win the Super Bowl this year. I'm taking the Bengals. The Bengals are gonna beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, and they're gonna beat them. They're gonna beat them 30-24.
Wow. Kind of close to my score that I just wrote down a little while ago. I got Cincinnati putting that work in on KC. KC, if my man Mahomes' ankle is bad, by the time that third quarter rolls around, and if he ain't moving like he should, it's going to be a problem. I got to see Cincinnati getting it done. Plus, Burrow is Joe Cool, man. He's got the weapons, Jamar Chase and Mixon. I mean, the tight end was getting busy last week. 31-17 over KC.
Wow.
Even in their house. We got 2 road games going here.
Top Gun, you want to get involved in this one? Bengals, Chiefs? Chiefs.
He said that with no hesitation, ladies and gentlemen.
I got to put the Bengals here for me and you, and then put Chiefs for Top Gun. All right. So that concludes our picks. So before we roll into the podcast, we have it's not the fantasy football segment, but it is the survival challenge. We're all still alive. As I had picked the Bengals. Top Gun had picked the Bills, and Captain Book picked the Cowboys. But then we had a week where we did not pick. So because they won that respective week, we are just going to move them on, because technically I should win, but we'll move on. So we have 4 teams left. I cannot pick the Bengals. So I have to take the 49ers since that's who I picked in my pick. So what say you, Top Gun? Which team are you going to pick? You got the Eagles, Philly, and Cap. What say you?
Frisco Treats.
49ers. So
San Fran.
actually, TG, Top Gun, could win this week if Philly beats the 49ers.
Yep.
We will be eliminated, and Top Gun will win the championship of the Survival Challenge.
He could go out with his hometown.
All right, so that's what we did for fantasy this week. So let's get moving.
It's the podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. It's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. Normally I'm found on the wheels of steel, but the time has come to drop the field. Beat Gold is a name that I spin under, but the real deal's a guy who brings the thunder. Back in the day, it was 5 minutes of funk. The deal's on the mic, he ain't no punk. It's cool when I see you freak to the beat. As Eric Beat stated, don't sweat the technique. My lyrics will stand the test of time. Working the crowd with my rhyme. Now it's time to get to the show. Bring you the info so you know it's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. It's a podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. If you want history, check 1 and 2. All the episodes have something new. From the front to the back or the bottom to the top. The episodes deliver from the knowledge we drop. The cap is the rhyme and I am the rhythm. Like the defense, we are gonna hit them. With the fun facts and the skull jam. The real deal will continue to rant. Cap brings Hawks news to the show. Never losing sight, keeping the flow. The blue and the emerald green. Cat will tell you who's on the scene. Delivering hits on game day. The bam bam moment for today. It's the podcast built to last. The podcast, we're having a blast. Another episode is in the books. Keeping it real with the hooks. Tune in again later next week to hear more from the streets. Bringing the news for our teams. Nothing's off limit, so it seems. Thanks for hanging, checking us out. We'll be back, there is no doubt.
All right. I'm not. You know what? We're gonna change. I'm gonna do some new verses for some stuff, but I'm not changing that one, dude.
No, that's legit.
That we're keeping that one.
That's legit.
All right.
That's going to become a classic in this country.
So we're getting ready after the final podcast to book our tour dates and start recording our album for release.
Yeah, we just got another request. I told you about that.
We did.
We got a lot. I was putting together some work the other night.
Right, we'll be
Last night.
We'll be available for booking to come to a city near
We're going
you.
to start with small venues first. We got to pack the house.
we'll be dropping the mic and bringing the
in your
heat.
hometown very soon.
So Scolders,
Get ready.
12s, and all you football fanatics, thanks for tuning in to the podcast today. It's our second year. We got one more episode left. You know, this was a pipe dream years ago. we talked about it. And then we had to put it in the vault because society just stopped. But I mean, we're out there. We're slinging it. We're having so much fun. So thanks for tuning into the Super Wild Card Weekend and the Divisional Round recap and our championship round preview. Tell your friends, families, coworkers about the show. We hope to grow our audience by 1,000% next year. I handed up enough cards out this year where I hope it made
overseas.
Yeah, we got.
That man is working the ground.
And me and Top Gun are slated to go to Vegas at the end of March, so we're gonna take a tour of the Vegas Raiders Stadium. And we'll be handing out cards there. We might even put in, while we're handing them out, say we have a Raiders segment just to get them to tune in a couple times.
We got to work hard. We got to work hard.
Next episode will be our Super Bowl preview. I had a lot of fun today. It was a little different than what we normally do. I'm very happy how the Vikings ended 13-4. I told Cap the day of the game, I was very calm. We were in the game like every other game, but this time I wasn't nervous. Maybe I should have been on the edge of my seat. Stop killing Cousins. He's been really good for us. He doesn't play defense. He's not the defensive coordinator. Just because he got the money, they all get the money. There's more. There's guys that take more money from this league that don't work and play as hard as he does.
True.
So leave the dude alone. He's a very good quarterback. Anyway, I'm out. Cat, take us home, baby.
Well, check it out. First of all, let me clarify that the Seahawks did end the season 9-8, not 9-9. So we have a winning season. So I'm really happy about that when we were only supposed to win 3 games according to the experts. But if you want to know about the experts, just check out some of our tracks and we break it down for you. So I want to thank everybody for listening to the Captain and the Real Deal podcast this year, whether you're doing it on your iPhones, iTunes, or if you're checking us out on YouTube. We appreciate you, and we hope that you've enjoyed this fantastic voyage with us. So it's not over for the Hawks.
To the land of funk.
You know it. You know it. So even though the season just ended with the playoffs, it's not over for the Hawks. It's not over for the Vikings. This is literally just beginning for all of us. And we're both light years ahead of where we should be. So we will build on that. So listen, we will see you all soon. And Scolders, you know how we do it. Skol on down the road. And to my beloved Hawks 12, Seattle Seahawks, and the Emerald Nation, there's only one thing for us to do, and that's Emerald up. So with that, we're going to slide into the Super Bowl weekend coming up after these division games are over for the conference championships. And then we go into the big dance, Be Gold. So with that, I want to say thank you. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs and Emerald up. Peace.
And hey, open item. 1 episode to go. Where is Socrates? Where's that picture? Socrates, Viking uniform. Get it on, baby.
He's calling you out, bro.
Get it
You got to
on.
come with it.
Come on now. You lost the bet.
He'll come through.
Said that last week.
He will. It's not over yet. We got one more show, though. He's got to hustle. Sideline to sideline, baby. Let's go.